Love Island is by far one of the greatest dating game shows ever created, with the popular series originating in the United Kingdom and then spreading the love from the shores of Spain to South Africa. And while it may look like a free-for-all for all contestants involved, you might be surprised to hear that there are quite a few strict rules that need to be followed on set. But what type of rules are enforced? And why does the show need to control contestants with the enforcement of these rules? Well, whether you're a fan of the dating show or just love to know everything you can about the behind-the-scenes workings of reality television, stay right where you are, as we're about to explore some of the rules you didn't know the cast of Love Island had to follow. So strap yourselves in and get ready for an adventure, as things are about to get real. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notification turned on so you don't miss out on any of these new videos we post. 1. Do not leave the island. The first rule is pretty simple and involves the showrunners making sure that the cast stay exactly where they are, regardless of the drama that they find themselves in. And as much as some of the cast may want to leave the island from time to time, without them there is no show at all, which is why they are contractually obligated to stay on the island unless their lives are in direct danger. The way that the showrunners enforce this rule is also pretty simple, with cast members who leave the island often forfeiting any winnings that they have received throughout their stay. Contrary to popular belief, the vast majority of contestants choose to spend time on the show to either walk away with some cash or at least make some connections in the world of reality television. As such, the forfeiture of winnings has a tendency to make many of the cast members stick it out through the worst. 2. Pay your taxes. Since the majority of us work normal jobs and have our employers automatically subtract taxes from our monthly salaries, we don't often think about the tax implications of winning money on a show like Love Island. What you'd probably expect is that the show takes care of the nitty-gritty and awards the winning contestants the amount that has been left over after tax has been deducted. It's not like the contestants are the sharpest tools in the shed after all, but as it turns out, the show has next to nothing to do with ensuring that the contestants pay taxes on the winnings that they have received. The show does, as a rule, require that they pay these taxes, but does absolutely nothing to help the contestants in figuring out how to do this. Quite problematic considering that most contestants are quite young and inexperienced when it comes to facing off with the tax collector. 3. This is our footage. Early in the game, contestants are informed by the production crew that there are certain parameters that need to be respected when filming is taking place. They are also warned that any footage captured of them while on the island can be used on the show regardless of whether such footage was taken during filming hours or with their consent. In other words, by accepting the terms of their contract, they give the show retroactive consent to use any footage, even if secured from hidden or CCTV cameras. This allows the show to capture moments where the cast feel like they aren't being filmed, which often results in the most drama and prevents the cast from making a claim against them for using unsolicited video. Essentially, this boils down to the contestants being the property of the show while on the island, with all footage gathered being usable regardless of how upset this might make a specific member of the cast. Legally speaking, this also prevents mass liability, which is necessary when it comes to reality television. 4. Keep your brands to yourself. As we said earlier, many contestants approach Love Island to make a name for themselves on the reality television scene. This often results in a blow-up as far as their social media profiles are concerned, which then leads to sponsorships and brand deals that keep the contestants going until another reality television show they are interested in comes along. The opposite can also be said about those already famous on the television scene approaching Love Island to stay relevant. Because of this strategy and overall attitude, contestants may be tempted to bring their brand deals and sponsorships to the island in an attempt to make more money. But according to the show's rules, absolutely no contestants are allowed to participate in individual product placements or sponsorships while filming the show. Simply put, this is because Love Island itself has product placements and sponsorships that it needs to attend to throughout the runtime of the show. And if a contestant is somehow able to sneak some or other product placements into the show, they are by no means able to get paid for the use of that item, as technically the airtime belongs to Love Island. 5. Love thy neighbor. There's no doubt that over the last couple of years, television studios have been hit pretty hard with controversies relating to hostile working environments. Whether whether concerning smaller names like the Glee famous Lea Michele or larger-than-life celebrities like the now infamous Ellen DeGeneres, the public is well aware that things can turn pretty nasty on the set of a show, and things are no different on Love Island, regardless of the amount of drama that often follows the contestants. Regardless of how angry a cast member may be, they are required by Love Island to always treat the producers and staff of the show with the utmost respect. The contractual provision dealing with this rule also states that the contestants may not show any sort of aggressive behavior towards the producers or staff of the show, as well as fellow contestants. So while being rude to the staff is off the table, it is only aggression that is prohibited in both instances, meaning they can be as rude as they want with their fellow cast members. That is, after all, what reality television is all about, right? 6. Leave the branding at home. Surprisingly enough, contestants also need to agree to have their wardrobes overhauled before appearing on Love Island, as there is a pretty strict rule pertaining to the clothes that contestants are allowed to wear whilst on the island. Piggybacking off the earlier rule, preventing contestants from doing brand deals or sponsorships while on the island. The cast members are also asked to leave all branded clothing at home, regardless of whether they are being paid by the company whose branding they are showing off. If the branded clothing has been approved by the show, however, the cast members are indeed able to wear that branding. This is more often than not the case when the brand in question has sponsored the show, or where the brand is on topic with what is happening in the world, such as Black Lives Matter. There have also been some examples of charitable organization brandings being allowed, but these definitely need to be okayed before being worn on the island. 7. Stay away from recreational drug use. Although fans of the show don't expect to find any role models in the cast members that have been chosen for a particular season, it must be said that Love Island as a property refuses to deal with contestants who wish to participate in the use of illegal substances, especially whilst on air. Illegal drug use is thus a no-go when it comes to staying at the villa. It must also be said that the cast members of the show not only have to pass a drug test before even leaving the island, but can be asked to take another at any other time throughout the duration of their stay. If a cast member fails a drug test or refuses to complete one while on the island, their time in front of the cameras will come to an end, and all winnings will be forfeited as a result of their conduct. And it's not just that recreational drug use is illegal according to the laws of the land, but also that with drug use comes a lot of variable liability. In other words, Love Island is both looking after the other contestants as well as itself by preventing drugs on the island. Number 8. Complete your psychiatric evaluation. Another test that contestants have to pass before spending any time in the villa is a psychological one. This means that all cast members on the show need to first pass a psychiatric evaluation by Love Island's own clinical psychologist before being given the go-ahead to act all crazy on set. This ensures that no unstable contestants make their way onto the island, which helps the production team keep things nice and safe for everyone else enjoying their stay at the villa. By putting the contestants through this process, the show is also able to cover itself if anything bad happens along the lines of a psychological break. In an instance such as this, the showrunner would have to prove that the show did everything it could to ensure that the contestant was mentally stable at the time of entry, which is precisely what passing a psychiatric evaluation does. 9. Your sexual history will not stay private. Since Love Island is a dating show, it goes without saying that after the drinks have been flowing, a couple of contestants might find it in themselves to do some sexual explicit things. This once more opens the show up to quite a lot of liability, which means that Love Island needs to minimize this liability as much as possible while maintaining such sexual scenarios. It is, after all, why a lot of people tune in. This is why contestants have to fill out extensive medical forms before appearing on the season, which have a long list of questions pertaining to their sexual histories. Suffice it to say, cast members have to disclose any sexually transmitted infections that they have or have ever had, which allows the show to keep an eye on them and protect other contestants from contracting anything while on the show. 10. Do not leave before attending your post-elimination briefing. Last but not least, Love Island does its best to make sure that contestants have their hearts and minds protected after being booted off the show. Rejection is a horrible feeling after all, and can affect a number of people in different ways. So, in an attempt to prevent cast members from either hurting themselves or others after experiencing this heartbreak, the show enforces the rule that they must attend a post-elimination briefing with a counselor before actually leaving the island. Can you imagine the stories these counseling professionals would be able to tell? Brilliant! So, what do you think of the strict rules the cast of Love Island has to follow? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below.